This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Listen, double check you're still subscribed to the channel, double check your notifications are on, and if you hit that like button, double check it's working properly, because these bad actors are working overtime to suppress the channel, because they're terrified of more people becoming aware of all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market. Guys, listen. Everybody keeps telling me about their charting XRP, that they can determine when the floor is, that they can determine when it's going to run. Let me tell you guys something, okay? And this is just my opinion. I'm not telling you to buy, hold, or sell XRP. What I'm telling you is this. In my opinion, it is impossible to chart XRP, okay? Because XRP doesn't run by fundamentals. XRP doesn't run by Bollinger Bands or RSI or all MACD or all the other tools that people use to chart stocks and cryptocurrencies, okay? XRP is run by manipulation by the bad actors, okay? And the proof of that is the demand we see for XRP all around the world. The proof of that is all these side products that commingle or work with XRP that shoot to the roof. The minute that they put them out there, they break previous records. So somehow, Flare, Vivo Power, all their products that work with XRP, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, all these products are breaking sales records. But somehow XRP price doesn't move. Everything associated with XRP moves, but XRP doesn't move. You have all these countries, South Korea, Canada, Japan, India, I mean, anywhere on the planet, Dubai, Brazil. Everywhere you go on the planet, people are fighting to get their hands on XRP, but XRP price cannot stay above $3. And the reason why, because of pure manipulation on the part of the bad actors, because they know that XRP allowed retail investors to front run the institutions. Okay, and they don't want that. They don't want us in a play before they're able to control it. Okay, they don't want us in a play before they're able to control it, and they're gonna be able to control it once the XRP spot ETFs are approved, and they're delaying those things on purpose. You know, there's no doubt in my mind about that, because they know that there are a lot of retail investors who are diamond handing their XRP, and they know and when XRP runs, XRP is going to make a lot of everyday Americans and citizens all over the world financially independent, and they don't want that. They want us in the XRP play. After the XRP spot ETFs approved, the price of XRP shoots through the roof, and then retail investors are priced out, and their only way to have access to XRP is through their XRP spot ETFs. Guys, look at what's going on with XRP around the globe. They're already in Africa, Philippines, running remittances, okay? Saving people probably billions of dollars, because from what I'm reading, to send remittances, it was costing them about 10% of what they were sending, and sometimes even more. Now it's costing them pennies on the dollar to send remittances in parts of Africa and Philippines and things like that. XRP is changing global finance. It is the present, in my opinion. It is the future, and they all know it. So when you try to chart XRP on the fundamentals, I don't see how it's going to work, because if XRP was charting properly based on the fundamentals, based on the demand, the price of XRP would have surpassed all-time highs a long time ago. They're not going to ever stop manipulating XRP because criminals are going to be criminals. But I believe that once the XRP spot ETFs are approved, and you have BlackRock, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, and you have their XRP spot ETFs that brings in billions of institutional money, I believe the fraud and corruption is going to slow down because they know that the SEC, the DOJ, and FBI are not going to allow them to engage in fraudulent activity if it's costing the 1%ers money. They're only allowed to engage in fraudulent activity if it affects retail investors, pension funds, and institutions that follow the rules. Under those conditions, the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI practice willful blindness to the fraud and corruption. So anybody who's saying they can chart XRP, they can determine when XRP is going to do this and do that, I think it is impossible because XRP does not move by fundamentals. XRP does not move by charts. XRP moves by bad actors manipulating XRP, okay? And whenever they need to sell off their Bitcoin for liquidity, then they use that as cover to manipulate XRP down. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think that XRP runs on fundamentals, or do you think XRP runs on manipulation by bad actors? Anyway, have a great day. God bless. I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.